This 2008 photo provided by Grove Atlantic shows author Jim Harrison, Wyatt McSpadden, courtesy of Grove Atlantic via AP. In the waning years of his life, Jim Harrison split his time between the countryside near Livingston, Mont, and small-town Patagonia. Ariz, the prolific poet and novelist, who famously sported a luscious beard and mustache that many likened to that of Pancho Villa, spent his days hunting, cooking and writing to the end. Harrison died March 26 at his home in Patagonia. His publisher, Grove Atlantic, confirmed to the Associated Press he was 78. Jim Harrison is a writer with immortality in him. A Sunday Times of London reviewer once said, an assessment that would be repeated over and over, on book jackets and by his legion of admirers. The author of more than 30 books, Harrison was a lifelong outdoorsman who gained wide renown after the publication, in his middle age, of his best-selling 1979 novella, Legends of the Fall. The story, which follows the journey of three brothers from Montana to Alberta to fight in the Canadian forces before the Americans' entry into World War I, cemented the kind of storytelling for which Harrison was known: moral, dark and resplendent with descriptions of the natural world. His voice came from the American heartland, and his deep and abiding love of the American landscape runs through his extraordinary body of work. Grove Atlantic Chief Executive Morgan Entrekin said in a statement to the AP, Harrison was a recipient of the Guggenheim Fellowship and a member of the American Academy of Arts and Letters. He was the rare writer who excelled in both poetry and prose, earning comparisons to Ernest, Hemingway and William Faulkner. Harrison began his career as a poet, but he started working on his first novel, Wolf, a false memoir, while recovering from a bird-hunting injury. He had fallen off a cliff. He also had credits in Hollywood, where as a screenwriter, Harrison befriended Orson Welles, Warren Beatty and Jack Nicholson, who financed his writing of Legends of the Fall. After his 1976 novel, Farmer, failed to sell well, according to the AP. Later, after Legends of the Fall became a movie starring Brad Pitt, there was 1 year in which Harrison made more money than the president of General Motors. Born in Grayling, Mich., Harrison grew up among the natural landscapes that would shape his writing, learning to hunt and fish at age 4. Family friend Tom Bissell wrote in and outside, for Harrison, the natural world was not something to be cherished because it was pretty. Rather, the natural world was something to be howled at, gloriously, in the night. Two early events made him a writer, Harrison told Esquire in 2014. The first occurred when he was 7 years old and in a quarrel with a neighborhood girl. She pushed a broken glass bottle into his face, blinding him in his left eye. I probably wouldn't have been a poet if I hadn't lost my left eye when I was a boy. Harrison told Esquire. Afterward, I retreated to the natural world and never really came back, you know. Then, when he was 20, his father and sister were killed in a car accident. Their sudden death solidified his determination to write. I thought, if this can happen to people, you might as well do what you want, which is to be a writer. Don't compromise at all, because there's no point in it. Jim Harrison at his home in Patagonia, Ariz, where he died Saturday. George Mason and Amp. Salli Slaughter, courtesy of the authors, wrote via AP, with a Bachelor's and a Master's degree in comparative literature from Michigan State University. Harrison believed firmly that good writing could be accomplished only through utter devotion. To young writers seeking guidance, he said, I don't have any time to talk to you unless you intend